Back again here in Toronto, and I brought somebody special with me. This is Greg from Kinobody. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, check out Kinobody, I guess, on YouTube. And I wanted to bring him here to talk to him a little bit about success, get his thoughts on it, his opinion on it. You know, I actually started watching Greg's channel a while ago. We run in some of the same circles, Brandon Carter and all these guys, Elliot Hulse, and we had like mutual friends, but we never got the chance to connect. So it's really cool that we got the chance to connect today. And I want to talk to him about success because he just had a video, has 100,000 subscribers, 100,000 views on the video. I just got my 100,000 views on the video. And I was watching your videos, man, and I know you didn't just start at this. You've been doing this for like a really long time, like 4 years. Yeah. I went back and I saw his videos, and he has videos where it's like him like no gel in the hair, just like in the bedroom and playing with like a yoga ball or whatever. And it's just it's like wow, it's like honest earnings and like our honest beginnings. So I want to kind of get like your ideas of the success, kind of how you even started doing videos and kept with it for so long. Because 4 years of doing something and like being on the grind day in and day out for 4 years, that's not easy. So how did you kind of develop that work ethic to keep going so long?
Yeah, man, I mean, that's a good question. Actually, a lot of people don't know this, but I started my YouTube channel longer than 4 years ago.
Oh, really?
Like 8 years ago. I was like so into fitness for the longest time, and I was part of this fitness forum, and so I wanted to like kind of show people like my workouts. So I posted a few workouts on YouTube back in like 2007, 2008.
Wow.
Like, you know,
when you were 12.
Like when I was like 13, 14. And so actually it started to blow up really quickly because no one posted videos back then. It was like so new. And eventually like I got too shy because I was like shy back then, and I had all these people like commenting, and my friends started seeing my videos. So I just destroyed my channel back then. Yeah. And then I restarted it when I was like a little bit older because I was like, I want to do this fitness thing. And yeah, it's like YouTube can be really slow when you're starting. But for me, I'm just focused on the progress. I'm like, you know what, just a little bit more subscribers, this week. And to be honest, I haven't really been focusing on YouTube until like a year ago because I was more into blogging. I was like writing all my articles on Kinobody.com. I was like, oh, YouTube's like a joke. I didn't really take it too seriously until I realized how powerful YouTube was. And then I just started listening to my subscribers. I'm like, what do these guys want to see? What do they like? And then once I started listening to them and also seeing what works well and watching other YouTubers, then I started to put the pieces together. And then I saw it started to work. So I started to put more work into it.
Okay. So actually, that's a really good point because you said you were doing it for a long time, 8 years ago. So 8 years is a really long time ago. I started like doing this self-development, self-help stuff a really long time ago too. I think I started because my dad was like, I come from the royal family in Africa. I don't associate with them, but in Ghana, I'm part of a royal family. My great-great-grandfather, he was like, he started one of the first like mixed racial schools in Barbados. Wow. So I kind of grew up always like with this idea of like anything that I wanted to do in the world, like I could do it. When I was 14 years old, I bought like my first like personal power CD, like Tony Robbins. I'm like, all my friends make fun of me, but I'm like, yeah, you could do it. Yeah, like I'm 14 years old, right? So I think all these things kind of attributed to me from a very young age, believing that if I put my mind to it, I didn't care how much work it was, but I can do it. I think my mom was a part of that as well. Did you have like a lot of that in your upbringing, or what was your upbringing like that kind of maybe encouraged you to believe that you can always do stuff and keep your mind to it?
Man, that's a tough question. I mean, part of it is the fact that I've just always been fascinated by fitness. Since I was 6 years old, I saw Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator. I was like, that is so cool. I was like, that is unbelievable. There's this guy that just looks completely more powerful and different than anyone else. And then I think my dad told me back then, and I asked him, I was like, dude, like, could I ever like, get stronger, build muscle? Like, is that a thing? He's like, yeah, it is. You just got to work out. I'm like, that's all you have to do is just work out. It's like, why doesn't anyone do this? So I was always so passionate about fitness, and like naturally, I'm someone that like, I like to share. If I learn something that works, I just want to share it. So when I was like growing up as a kid, I wanted to help my brothers work out. I was like, yo, let's work out together. Like, no, we don't want to do that. That's like effort. So I was like, what? So then once I could like actually share that online, on YouTube, on blogging, I just naturally want to do it. So something that like I just kind of had to do. But as far as the success, like I had very, very ambitious goals. I dropped out of school. I wanted to build this big fitness company. Wow. I wanted to sell thousands of fitness courses. So I had ambitious goals, and there wasn't like a shred of doubt in my mind that I wouldn't be able to do it. Like I knew I was going to be able to do it. Part of that is like my dad kind of like, I grew up with like this very, very influential father who just had this,
Can you describe him a little bit, like how he's like so influential? Like what was
he was larger than life.
Okay.
He just had unbelievable amount of self-belief, just complete conviction and determination, and a extremely positive attitude, but not like in a, you know, like in a kind of like hard-hitting way. And he kind of eventually made me realize that like his thing was like, if you want something bad enough and you're willing to work for it, you will get it. Like no, like just that's it, nothing else. And it's like if I wanted something, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. It's like, how do we find a way to do it, you know? So that was his mentality, and that's sort of what I started to pick up on. I started to realize, like, you know what, he wasn't cut from different cloth, because growing up I thought I was just this special person that could do anything. I was like, no, there was like, you know, there was common denominators. There's things he was doing that allowed him to succeed, and so that's what I kind of had to realize is, you know what, if I want something bad enough, I'm willing to work for it, I can get it. And I mean, people are just crazy these days. Like, it's like if you're getting a little bit of progress each week, you're gonna get to the goal. And so people are so focused on that huge big picture that's so out of reach, but it's like, hey, I gained 50 subscribers this week. This is good, I'm getting closer. It's like, focus on that progress. That's what I say.
I totally agree. You know what's funny? So when I got my first like 1,000 subscribers, I told like Papa from Real Social Dynamics, I told Brandon Carter, and they're like, that's good job. They're like, yeah, good job. And it's so funny because to me, I was like, what? Like Brandon has like 500,000 almost. And I was like, you're like applauding my little pathetic 1,000, but it's just like forward progress. I actually got that quote, you said it too, forward progress. I got it from Nick, from Papa. We were playing golf, and as long as we hit the ball and the ball would go forward like just a little bit, as long as it would go forward towards the destination, he's like, forward progress. Like, pat on the back for yourself, forward progress. So I think that's an important part, because even what I do with the dating stuff with guys, it's like they don't give themselves credit for every little like bit of effort they make. Like we say who the fuck would have the balls to do what you did? And we got to give them credit, allow themselves to give themselves credit for it. You mentioned your dad growing up. I didn't have it. My thing is, I didn't even have a dad growing up. I grew up in a single parent mom house.
Dude, I did too. I lost my dad when I was 11.
11, so, but he was still able to install those lessons in you.
Yeah.
At a young age. So for me, it was my mom. She installed those at a very young age. She was like, you know, when I was growing up, my mom said that you can do anything you do. You don't need no man around. Like sassy black woman voice. Like, you don't need no man around. And I'm like a guy, I'm like a dude, but I still got those lessons. Like, I can do anything I put my mind to it. And it was really weird because even when I was little, I was like, I felt like I didn't really fit in with the kids. I'm like, I must have green blood or something. I actually literally like legit thought that I had green blood. I'm like, I don't fit in with the other kids. And it's funny because I believed that for so many years, but it didn't start to materialize until I hit those mid-20s, those late 20s, where I was able to like execute those things that I started to believe from when I was a very young age. So when did you like start to like you're thinking you're mid-20s now?
Yeah.
When did those lessons that your dad taught you start to like come together and start to actually like you start to see the results of them? How long did that take?
Yeah, well, people don't realize, like, I was kind of like a shy, obsequious kid.
Obsequious. What's the word of the day?
The word of the day, man. Obsequious. I was a bit of a pushover as a kid. Yeah. I was always in sports, and I did really well in sports, but I kind of just was like really shy, and it was working out. That's why I'm so passionate about working out, because it completely empowered me. Because once I started working out, you know, at like 12, 13, 14, and I was able to lift a little bit more weight, that's what really created, that was the catalyst for me. You know, getting a little bit stronger. That gave me the, you know, because if you're just kind of just plateauing in everything, it's hard to have confidence. But when you excel at something, that kind of leaks over to the rest of your life. So at like 12, 13, I started to get a lot more confidence from working out, but still like didn't really like form into who I am now. It was like later on, you know, when especially when I started Kinobody, I started to build my channel, my business, it started to grow massively, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, let's set the craziest goals ever. Let's just set massive goals, because now like nothing feels out of reach. Like nothing feels out of reach. So I mean, it's kind of, there was a catalyst, but I think it's just been kind of just the more things are going, you know, the longer we're going, it's just things seem more and more like possible.
Do you think, so there's a concept that we call like nature versus nurture. So nature is like, you're just kind of born that way, you're just kind of like that person,
Yeah.
it's who you are.
Yeah.
And then there's the nature part, which is like, you know, like the seed in the soil, where it's the soil outside that creates that you know, positive change or the positive success. So, you know, for you, do you think it was part of just like you just had it in you and it had to be unleashed? Because that's how I felt it was for me. I don't think it was too much my environment. My environment didn't really help. I grew up like in Montreal and everybody like kind of like shitted on my dreams. So for me, I think it was kind of just my nature was that. I had this argument with Nick and Tyler all the time. They say it's a little bit of both. It's probably a little bit of nature, a little bit of nurture that creates like the successful person. For you, do you think you kind of just had it in you and it needs to be released? Or do you think that it was the environment that you were in that kind of encouraged you more, and that's what made it happen?
I'm gonna look at this very objectively. Okay.
Awesome.
Because the reality is, I was like doing push-ups on my own at like 7 or 8. Maybe not 7 or 8, but like I wanted to work out with my dad when I was like 6. But then like I was like working on my own at like 12, buying books, reading it. It's like, it was in me, man.
Yeah.
That was in me. It's just like I was always just like I was just so drawn to it. I was drawn to the idea of getting stronger, getting leaner, building muscle. I was drawn to that to like an extent that like blows my mind today. I'm like looking back at like what I was doing at 12 and 13. I'm like, what kind of 12 or 13 is doing that? Like writing workouts for their friends, and their friends don't even want them. It's like, dude, do this. Like it was next level. I was on a vacation with my family, and they're off like having fun on the beach. I was like doing push-ups and stuff. Like that isn't something that like my family like taught me. That was just in me, and I had to do it. Same thing when I started my business, Kinobody. I didn't have support in the way that you would think. I was dropping out of school. My family was like, "What the hell are you doing, Gregory? This is gonna fail. Don't do it. Go to school like everyone else." And funny enough, my dad didn't finish school, but that's like neither here nor there. But like, point is they told me don't do it. Like, you know, so I mean, for me, it's always been something that I just had to do. And I'm someone like, I can't do something I don't want to do. It sounds kind of bratty, but like I have to, like, it's like I'm like I don't want to do something I don't want to do. So if someone says go to school, I'm like, if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to. So that's me. I kind of just feel compelled to like listen to whatever feels right for me. And so it was, I more than anything went against the grain. But there's totally like positive aspects to growing up in my situation. I'm sure like part of that has like helped me, but on the whole, it's just been something inside me that I've had to kind of just go with. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, actually reminds me of a quote. It's my assistant over there, Joshua, he's telling me this quote. And the quote was, a rose could only grow in soil. I think it's some Gandhi quote, like a rose grows in soil. I don't know. If you guys know what it is, tell me, let me know. Like put it in the comment section below. I don't know what it is, but a rose grows from soil to be beautiful. But then there's also that Tupac quote where a rose grew from concrete. So I think it could be both, right? Like the nature of the person, also the environment that they're in. Like both of them can make the person to be successful if they really just focus on it. But they have to have it inside of them. You can't like make somebody want to be that person. It's like they are, either they are or they aren't. I was talking to Tyler about this, and Tyler's like, I grew up in Canada, man. Like I grew up in a bumfuck town in Canada next to Ottawa, like a suburb of Ottawa, and I hated it. And like something about him just like encouraged him. Like his mind works in a way where it switches from like gear number 3 into gear number 5. I think a lot of people don't have that innate, it can be developed, by the way, but they don't have that innate like that drive where like this level of whatever standard of life isn't good enough, or this level of success in myself, I want more, and like go up to another level. So I think it's really interesting that guys can develop that, and I think we should talk a little bit more about how to develop that in our next little angle over there.
And like, just I guess the one last thing I'll say really quickly is like it was definitely something for me that like just felt natural, but I also am like totally in tune with like being around negative people. Just like messes me up massively. Like just screws my work ethic, like screws like, you know, what I feel like is possible. Whenever I hang around people that just have like that attitude of, you know what, like we can do anything here. In like a logical way, of course, not in like some like ridiculous way. We can do anything. Like I just like, that's when my ambition like kicks in. That's when I have like the biggest ideas, and that's what like creates the most success. So I feel like, yeah, like nurture was a huge part for me, but also I'm very like my environment dictates like so much. And like that quote, like you're the average of your 5, you know, closest friends, and like that takes fold for me. It's like my social circle is like just changing like crazy, just to kind of, because my vision is so powerful of what I want. So it's like kind of just manifesting organically.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny. Just to add to that, actually, I was gonna go to a second angle, but I'll just say it here. I made a quote on Facebook today. It's kind of probably gonna rub some people the wrong way. It's probably gonna offend them, as it usually does, because it's like it kind of like stabs you in the gut of truth. And the quote was like, "I don't care about people who don't care about themselves." And that sounds like an asshole thing to say, probably is, but the truth of it is, I don't want to be around investing into others that aren't also investing into themselves. I don't want to be around people that, like, you know, the average 5 friends that you have. I want to be around 5 people that are also working on themselves and like investing into themselves also. So it's like, I believe in that so much. That's why it's so cool, like our little mastermind group that we have, you know, like the RSD guys, Brandon, Elliot, you know, Mark, all these dudes that we all hang out with. It's so cool that they're all committed to that. They're committed to that high fidelity of people that they keep around them, and that high fidelity of people of quality they keep in their life. It's almost like that good food. Like today, I went and ate a chicken kale salad, and I'm like, my mind is buzzing. I feel like amazing. I feel so good. But if I ate like Harvey's, I wouldn't feel that way. Same thing with the people I keep around me, or we keep around us. We choose to keep people around us that are like the high quality food. So we're always in a high vibrational state. We're always feeling very good about life and about success and about direction, right? It doesn't bring us down. The biggest craze these days is what? The law of attraction. It's the law of attraction. Oh, I want to have the law of attraction. I want to think my way to success. I don't want to put any effort into it. Listen, I do believe in the law of attraction very much, okay? I actually believe in, I do a lot of incantations, they would say, like rituals. Like, I used to look in the mirror and like say things to myself in the mirror and like believe it. Almost like the Saturday Night Live, the affirmation, yeah, like I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, gosh darn it, people like you, like that kind of thing. I would do that. I did vision boards. I read an amazing book, a book you gotta read, by the way, called The Master Key System by Charles Hainsel. It's actually the original book that The Secret was written on. It's all about like 24 weeks of how to like take your mind and warp your mind, and it's a workbook for 24 weeks, and it gives you exercises and homework, so it like shifts the way your subconscious works. I also did, you know, tons of all that stuff. But the major thing that I realized when doing this kind of like positive thinking was to also add lots of emotion into it. So a lot of guys will do affirmations, or they'll do like a vision board, and they're like, done, like fini, like, oh, it's done. But the truth is you have to like put emotion into it. So like, I want to make, like, for example, I wanted to make $100,000. That may or may not be a lot of money to some people. At the time, that was a lot for me. And I said, I want to make $100,000. And I would like sit there and imagine the visualization of me like going to the bank and like cashing the check, and like the smell of the air, and like writing my name down like on the paper, like all this kind of stuff. And I actually wrote a check of $100,000 to myself. But everything that I visualized, I did it with tons of emotion. Like I threw myself into the moment and like just like let go and like really like feel it. Do you have any? So that was one of my success rituals. So my question is, do you have any success rituals or things that you do every day that kind of shaped your mind and shaped your subconscious to allow you to even go forward and believe that you can achieve the success that you've had so far?
Yeah. No, I definitely do. Earlier I was just like joking. I was like, no, I don't do anything. No, for me, what I found is really just what my style is just always writing down goals and
like a journal,
like Evernote kind of style. Like I just am constantly looking at where I am right now. I'm thinking like, what do I want? Like this and this, and it gets cool when you start to realize, because I think the biggest thing is self-belief. If you don't think you can actually accomplish something, you're not going to get motivated. You're not going to work hard for it. It's like, oh, I won't get it anyway. So for me, it's kind of been the slow process of kind of starting with smaller stuff and building upon there. Once I get that positive momentum, then I'll start to like look at bigger things. And so my success ritual is pretty much just writing down, like just journaling every day, goals that I want, things I want to accomplish, things I have to do. And that is pretty much it. I am very confident though. Like I am very confident. I'm not gonna, like, I'll be honest, I'm very confident. Some people are scared, some people are scared to put videos out. They're scared to put videos out on YouTube. They're scared to put an article out. They're scared to create a program. It's like, what if people don't like it? It's like, I don't care. Yeah. It's like, I'm just gonna put it out, and chances are with this kind of stuff, I'm just gonna think it's awesome anyway. Yeah. And if it's not, and people are like, that sucked, Greg, I'll be like, okay, now let's figure out why it sucked and how I can make it better. Like, that's just me. So some people, I guess they need to do more drills to like get confidence, like, but for me, it's just like, what do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? Boom, boom, boom. What do I need to do to get it done? And it's not even like, and that's kind of it. I mean, there's like, I've read a lot of those books on like the success rituals, and it's like, every day, like the visualization, the affirmations, it's like reading over your goals and this and this. And so for me, it's like, I'm very goal-oriented naturally. I'm very, very goal-oriented naturally. Since I was like a kid, and I was like, yeah, now I want to build up to like 20 pull-ups. Now I want to do a one-arm pull-up. Now I want to be able to like I was just always like naturally, that was just in my character. So
even when you talk about it, like even when you talk about your goals, I can see you're getting like, yeah, motherfucker, like even as you talk about your goals, you're throwing like emotion into it, like versus like people who write down their goals like, I want to have less macros or like whatever. Like it's like you're actually like getting like worked up while you're talking about it. I can see that. Really cool.
One of Bruce Lee's quotes really resonated with me. It was like every day we have a chance to like better our lives and strive for self-improvement and improve ourselves in one way, like in one way, shape, or form. That's not the quote, but that's along the lines of it. And like that resonated. Like every day is an opportunity to grow, and like that's what I think is cool. When I'm happiest, it's because I'm accomplishing things, I'm improving myself. When I'm not happy, it's because I'm not doing anything. So what I was gonna say is that like, I think for me, it's like I'm already so goal oriented. I like to be like in tune with that stuff and like have a process of writing and evaluating. But sometimes if I'm like reading over my goals every day and I make it excessive, it just kind of takes me out of the moment almost. So I have to kind of balance it out with like have my goals, but just really start to like enjoy the process, which is more like the Eckhart Tolle kind of thing. Because if I was like reading over my goals every day, it would just make me too obsessed with like the end destination. So for me, it's like a balance of like being goal oriented, like, realizing I can achieve this stuff, but then also being like, what? If I can't enjoy the process there, it's meaningless. So I try so a big teaching for me was almost like really finding ways to like love what I'm doing, enjoy like every day, start to like, I actually built my business around the stuff that I love doing. I've created a couple like film, like fitness adaptations, which I had a blast doing. I'm doing like more videos, and kind of doing the stuff that I really think is cool. So for me, it's like a matter of like being goal oriented and enjoying the process. When those two conflate, that's when like success starts to like really ramp up. I remember when I was going through A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle, one of the things that really spoke out to me was enthusiasm, which I thought was so powerful. Enthusiasm was to have like a deep joy for what you're doing and the added element of a vision. And so, man, like if you find that thing that you friggin' love to do, you do all day, and then you have this powerful vision for where you want to take it, I mean, a lot of that success stuff just comes naturally.
Yeah. It
just is like, well, of course I'm going to work today. That's what I love doing. Of course, I don't need to like, like kind of go through like these different like affirmations because I just want to do it and I have the goals. And so I'm just going to like work at it all day.
Yeah. Actually to add to that, I think that's actually how I became an RSD instructor. So like guys are like, how do you do it? It's like, well, I was doing this before. Like you said, you would be in love with doing the fitness stuff, whether there was an end goal or not. You were just doing it all the time. And I think I did like the dating stuff. I was like involved in it. I was just doing it like crazy, like a madman all the time. And I didn't expect to become an RSD instructor. I didn't think about it. I didn't expect to become like world class in this like little small area of life, but it kind of just eventually happened, right? So I think, that reminds me of a quote. I think luck finds those who are walking the path, or opportunity comes to those who are already walking the path. I can't remember what the quote is. Basically like throwing yourself into the environment, putting stuff out there, like how you mentioned, not being afraid to fail, putting yourself out there, and if it works out, it works out. But if not, it's like you will have that luck sometimes just by going forward in that direction and making those efforts. So that's my kind of final thought. Any closing thoughts?
Well, I mean, like this has kind of been blowing my mind over the last few months or year or so. It's like, as long as I'm on that path that you mentioned, like I'm on the path, I'm taking action every day, I have like big goals, big visions, a lot of like crazy things, it's like the law of attraction you mentioned earlier, a lot of crazy things are just brought into my life. Connecting with Brandon Carter and then, Ty Lopez and then the RSD guys. It's like, I've seen you guys stuff for a while. It's like now we're like doing videos together. So I mean, a lot of like cool, like even like I wanted to find like a really kick-ass videographer that could help me do like cool movies. He just showed up at my front door. I don't mean literally he showed up at my front door, but I just met him at a dinner and we just shot the shit, and I'm like, let's do this. So it's like everything that I've wanted to do that's been in my head, you know, and especially when I've wrote it, like write shit down. Like don't just let things float around your head, like write stuff down. And like it's been crazy to me. Like, cause I'm like earlier I also was talking like law of attraction, whatever. But it's like no, true. Like no, it's
actually, you do it in a practical sense. You do like the real hardcore like nuts and bolts version of it.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. For me, it's just been like having those goals, taking action, like having like a huge vision of what you want, like not being a negative, having that self belief, and then like shit just comes to you. Like a lot of people that work on Kinobody now. They just just came to me. I didn't have to like try and find this person to do this. They just came. I'm like, oh, these. So I mean, like when you're kind of doing the right thing, a lot of like good stuff will come to you. Connections will come to you. I'm working with like I always had in my mind. I was like, I want to like help Hollywood actors get in shape, because like if I can help some big actor get in shape, that will like bring in more people, and that will be like cool social proof. So now I had an actor hit me up a month ago. He's been leaning down like crazy. So I mean, it's cool, like the amount of like when you have an idea of what you want in your head, and like you're working towards it every day or taking some form of action, putting yourself out there, uploading videos. It's really cool what will happen. But don't just have the idea, like write it down.
Yeah, I think like my biggest takeaway from this conversation, even hearing stuff that you're talking about, is like success isn't what you achieve, it's like what you become. So like you become the person who is deserving of the success, then you like get the success. So you become that person, and this kind of happens, you know, through the universe, through magic, through writing down your goals, through measuring macros or whatever it is. Like you become that person, and then the success happens to you. But it's like you're not going to be. You can, if you try to shortchange it, kind of like skip a step and skip an advance. It's not really solid, not really sustainable. And I like that idea of that, because I realize everybody that is in our little crew here, they've all earned it. Like they all earned it. They deserve that success. They became that person. They really changed. You know, at one point they were here and they made an effort to like get over there, and they became the person who deserved those results. So anyways, that's my kind of closing thoughts on it. Yeah, man, thank you very much for jumping in the video here. We're gonna probably head out and get some tea right now because we're both freezing and we're Canadians. Maybe some maple syrup, maybe some poutine, maybe some, I'm gonna like totally like upset his diet, but it's all that good stuff. So anyways, what I will say is that if you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. We will check them out. We're gonna give a link to Greg's website or his YouTube, which is
my website's kinobody.com. YouTube is just Kinobody.
Yeah, check that out. So feel free to subscribe to those. Feel free to subscribe to mine. I promise I won't be as frozen next time. I just came back from LA, so I'm not used to the Canadian weather. And that's it. That's all. Think about that. Keep in touch, and don't be a stranger. Cheers.